If you have questions on infertility, this episode is definitely for you. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of The Real Issues. My name is Oluwatitofumi and I'm your host. On this episode of the show, we'll be discussing infertility. And with me in the house to have this conversation is Mr. Femi Abioye. Mr. Femi Abioye is a sonographer at Total Healthcare Diagnostics in Ibadan. It's nice to have you in the house.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here this evening.
All right, so let's dive in. My first question to you is, what is infertility?
Okay, infertility to me, or let me say generally, infertility is when a couple, when they are unable to conceive,
Okay.
after staying together, having unprotected sex without any aid within the first and second year of their staying together. So that is what infertility practically is all about.
Okay. Okay, so now that takes me to my next question.
Okay.
Is infertility a male or a female problem? Because many times, if there's the inability to conceive, everybody's looking at the woman like, what have you been up to? So is it just a woman problem, or is it male and female? Whose problem is it basically?
Okay, you're actually very correct. These days, when people come to you for infertility issues, in fact, the man will not want to follow the lady to the clinic because they believe the problem is with the lady or with the woman. But this is what we tell people when they come to the center or when they go to the clinic. It is actually a male and a female responsibility. The factors is both with the male and with the female, because the husband and the wife, the male and the female, both contribute to what causes pregnancy or what causes fertility. So I can actually say infertility is caused, or let me say both the male and the female has the same percentage to contribute in infertility.
So it's not like it's the woman's problem.
No.
So all those mother-in-laws there to disturb the woman.
No. That's just the old this thing. I think the world is catching up with all this information.
Okay. All right. So my next question to you is, at least somebody actually sent me this question because he was curious. Is there anything like fertility compatibility? Because somebody says, I have been with my husband for a very long time and I didn't get pregnant.
Wow.
And I just went out once and bam, it turned to a baby. So is there anything like, me and my husband, we're not compatible when it comes to fertility?
Okay, I would rather say fertility compatibility is rather a myth than for it to be a fact, because there's nothing in the real sense of it. There's nothing like fertility compatibility. When you talk about marital compatibility, then we can agree. But when a man and a woman stays together, like I said, having unprotected sex after a while and nothing shows for it, and the wife says probably you slept with someone outside and you became pregnant, or let me say you got a positive result, it is actually some factors. Then we need to go back to our drawing board to see what are the things that is causing infertility between you and your husband. So saying fertility compatibility between the man and the woman is in the real sense doesn't exist. It's just in Nollywood, in movies, that we hear of such. So
when somebody just goes to play away match, it's not that him and his wife are not compatible.
Well, when you go to play away match, maybe the pitch at the other end might
be. All right. So now to the common ones we hear every day. Is it true that frequent abortions, or a woman who has had numerous abortions, can lead to infertility?
Okay, thank you so much for that question, because in my little years of experience, I've heard a lot of guys that will come behind their wives' back to come and ask certain questions that before we got married, she has had so numbers of abortion. But I clearly tell them, having a certain amount or certain number of abortion does not really make your wife infertile. Yes.
Okay.
But however, I would also like to clear the hair on some issues. While having this multiple abortion, while having this multiple procedure, if your womb has been tampered with,
Okay.
or if you had not so well treated or untreated infection, it might lead to infertility.
Okay.
And also, when there are multiple procedure on the uterus, on the womb that carries the baby, the uterus gets to become weaker at a certain time. So the uterus might not be able to carry a lot or carry pregnancy to term, or and which we that one, if you are able to get pregnant, we don't consider you as infertile. So I would rather back it up with the first course which I mentioned. During the procedure, were the procedure done rightly? Did you do the procedure in a standard place, and was there any infection that was left even after those are the few questions we ask before we conclude on does having many abortion leads to infertility.
Okay, so we're not trying to promote abortions or anything, but you know, we hear husbands a lot of times saying, oh, no, it's not even the husbands, the family members, the mother-in-laws, you know, they are asking, you know. So it's actually a relief to know that if it's done right, it cannot lead to infertility. So when infertility comes into the picture is when, you know, if it wasn't done properly
and if there was underlying issues.
All right, so my next question.
Okay.
Apart from medical treatments, you know, coming to the hospital, there are a lot of people that want to come to the hospital. But then, you know, when issues of infertility comes in, then the mother-in-law will go to one baba somewhere in the village and come back with one bottle of something, you know, and people start to suggest all kinds of things. They keep suggesting, why not try this, why not try that. So apart from medical treatment, you know, in your years of experience, are there other options available?
Okay, like you said, they go to the villages. You don't even need to go to villages these days to get all this concussion. Well, let me just state it clearly that the best approach to infertility is for you to get clinically treated, because those things might actually work according to what people say, but the side effect of them is most of these things do not have correct measurement. Most of these things are made up of stuffs that we don't actually know what side effect they're going to be. So we are just advised, when you are with your wife and you're trying to get pregnant for a year or two, just go straight to the clinic. And I believe after a few consultation and treatment, definitely it will come back positive.
Wait. So what you're saying is those things might actually work, like it can be effective, you know.
Well, people come back to tell us that they use so concussion, and after a while they got pregnant. Well, who knows, they might actually work, but they don't have the right, using them in the right proportion is actually the problem.
My last question now, this is the part that concerns me.
Okay.
What is the role of diet in the treatment and management of infertility?
Okay, this also is a very big question and very popular question that people ask when they come to the center or when they go to the clinic. Like I used to say, and according to research, it's been well proven that food with high protein content, food with a lot of vitamins, there are some certain vitamins which it is not in my duty to go into that. I think so. They boost fertility. They boost fertility factors in both male and female. Especially food that can boost your folic acid as a woman, can help you to produce follicles, eggs, which people know that eggs in your ovaries, preparing you for your ovulatory cycle every month, and that in itself can aid fertility to occur.
So there are diets that actually work. It's been an interesting session, don't you think so?
Yeah, it's been so.
All right, guys. I hope you learned something, because I actually learned something. So, disclaimer, because I know some people watch it and they'll be like, oh, Tito is already pro-abortion. I am not. I just got the question, and I mean, we got an expert to answer it sincerely. So thank you very much for coming.
It's my pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. I hope you had fun, because I did, and I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to send in your questions, and I will be glad to relate it to him and I'll get you your answer. All right, guys, till next week. I hope you join me again. Bye, guys. Hi, did you learn something new today? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to get more of these amazing videos. See you soon.